language is used not for giving some information, but to express certain emotions of the speaker or writer, and to evoke the same feelings in the listener or reader. So it is for the purpose of the function of this particular type of language, which is not much. We are expressing an emotion, how warm it is. I am expressing that emotion of discomfort. And when I use that expression, you also get the same feeling. How wonderful it is, the climate, how wonderful the climate is. I am trying to evoke the same feeling also in other. It is not necessarily always I need not evoke. Even I can, alone I can speak, express my emotion. So, so not all expressive language is not necessarily it has to be poetry. We express some sorrow or joy with some expression that is too bad, it is wonderful, and so on. So many ways the what is called expressive function can be carried out. The third one is directive function. Directive function. Here language is used for the purpose of causing or preventing an overt action. That means either I am asking an action to be done or action to be avoided. Don't come to the class or go out of the class. Don't go without wearing a mask. These are all, I am using the language for causing or preventing an action. Either do it or not do it. And the clearest example for it are commands and requests. The commands, come in, get out. Or even requests and prayer, give us this day our daily bread, forgive us. So requests, prayer, commands, all those things are also part of the directive function. Even asking a question is considered as a performing directive function. Because when I ask the question, who is the Prime Minister of India? That question calls for an action. What is that action? Action of response. Since it requests for an answer, therefore, that also is carrying out a directive function. So, any piece of language, when it is used for causing or preventing an action, whatever be the action, or causing or preventing, do it or not do it, both are performing directive function. So these are the three headings under which all the various functions of language can be summed up, according to modern logicians. Now, I'm just giving, before I conclude this section, giving that they are not exclusively divided. That means exclusive, for the term you have not studied, later you will understand the meaning of exclusive division. That means this is informative function. This is carrying out the, what is called the directive function or expressive function. So we cannot divide this, we cannot compartmentalize the functions. We cannot say this expression or this particular language is using only informative function, not necessarily. So a same discourse, the same piece of language can perform expressive, informative or directive. Even can be all the three also, it can be. I can give several examples. Sometimes the sermon preached can be not only for information about what Jesus did and said, it can also evoke emotion, expressive, informative, as well as expressive. And also then at the end, of course, the parish priest will say something, you make a collection. That also is included. That means it is also a directive function. Sometimes all these things can be together combined. So that is the reason why we say they are not exclusive from one another. Exclusive. One is not the other one. We cannot separate the three functions relating it to different pieces of language. An informative function, an informative piece of language can be used in order to communicate, in order to ask for a certain action. For instance, now we use the expression coronavirus is transmitted through contact. Now, it is only an information. It is not merely information. What does it mean? It means that don't contact others. Keep the physical distance. That is what kind of a function? It is what is called a directive function. But although in the same piece of language, it can be used for information, but at the same time, it is also can be a directive, can carry out a directive function. That is the reason why we said they are not exclusive of each other. When you say we are too slow in moving towards the railway station. We are too slow, informative. But then what is implied there? Let us go fast. We may lose the train. So that is directive function. So in the information, there can be also a direction as well as what is called emotion, what is called expressive function as well. So the point that is to be given, underlined here is that these three functions are not exclusive of each other. The same piece of language, the same discourse can be at the same time informative, it can be directive, it can be expressive. So there is no that kind of a clear-cut distinction. But as far as the function is concerned, insofar as this piece of language is used for the purpose of communicating something, it is carrying out the informative function. Insofar as the same piece of language is used for causing some action, come on, let us walk. If that is purpose is that one, then it is carrying out the directive function. So we look at the function and then we say this is performing function. We are not dividing language. We are dividing the functions of language. So be precise on that one. We are not dividing language into three groups, three families. No. We are dividing the three functions of language. Three functions. The same language can have this or that function. Now here, when you grammatically, we have studied in grammar, the sentences are divided into mainly, I think, four kinds. That is declarative, interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory. There, looking at the sentence, we are able to say this is exclamatory sentence or declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, looking at the shape, at the form of the sentence. But then these are the forms of the sentences that are different from the functions. For instance, a declarative sentence, I would like some coffee, is a request for some action. I am saying I am thirsty. I am happy to have some coffee. I am giving a informative function, but with that one, I am in fact asking, give me a cup of coffee. So, give me a cup of coffee is a what is called, it is an imperative, grammatically, imperative sentence. So one grammatical division is based on the shape of the sentences. But the functions are not based on the shape. It is based on the function. You have to see. So the sentence may have any shape, any form. But look at the function and say whether it is carrying out informative or directive or expressive. So therefore there is a distinction between the division that you make with regard to the what is in grammar into various sentences into four kinds. That is different from the what is called the functions, and that we divide the functions of the language into three kinds. In logic, we are concerned about the functions. So these are the 2 points that we have clarified in the first part of this unit. I will just take up one more point, the next point, the first part, terms and concepts. Terms and concepts. An argument is made up of propositions. We have seen at least 3 propositions should be there. And a proposition is made up of terms. Proposition is made up of terms. So therefore, terms are important in logic because different terms put together we have a proposition, and different propositions put together we have an argument. So terms are very basic to logic, and terms are related to concepts. We will start with the terms and then we will come to concept. Although in logically or conceptually, concepts are first and then comes to terms, but for the sake of understanding, we start with the terms. First of all, starting with the logical meaning of terms. Now, in order to clarify the logical meaning of the terms, we make a distinction between word, name, and term. So in contrast to name and word, we understand what a term is. We are concerned about the term. But then in order to understand what it is, we will contrast. It's different from name. It is different from word. When you clarify what a chair is, in order to give clarity to my clarification, I will try to contrast it. It is not a table. It is not a stool. It is not a what is called a bench. So we are contrasting. So contrasting is for the sake of clarifying. Our purpose is to clarify what a term is, and we are doing it by contrasting it what it is not. So we are referring to 2 other terms, and along with that one we will also refer to the term. What is a word? A word is one or more letters which convey some meaning. All that we have in the dictionary, they are all words. Chalk, yeah, simply one yeah, that also is a word. I, in, it. But all that we have in the dictionary, they are all words. Why they are words? Because they have, each of these words has got a meaning. Any combination of letters do not make a word. I give an example, Shintopsi. A group of letters are put together. Why it is not a word? Because it has no meaning. You will not find it in the dictionary. So therefore, a one letter or more than one letter joined together and having some meaning, they are words. That is the first. Then, what is a name? A name is a word. One type of word is name. What kind of word? is a word or group of words which can become the subject or predicate of a proposition. I have underlined there which can become. So it is not by chance I put it. There's a reason for that one. Any word or any group of words that can be used as subject or predicate of a proposition is called a name. We will, for example, a table, chair, beautiful, healthy. They can be used as subject or predicate. The person is healthy. Person is a name because it can be used as subject. Healthy is a predicate. But then, what about if? But they cannot be they cannot be used as subject or predicate. Therefore, they are not what you call names. So names are only those word or words which can be used as subject or predicate of a proposition. Then the third one is a term. A term is a name which actually serves as subject or predicate of a proposition. That is the difference. Now you have to take note of the way I have formulated. A name is a word or a group of words which can be used as subject or predicate of a proposition. But a term is a name, that means a word or a group of words which is actually used as subject or predicate of a proposition. Actually used. So outside the proposition, if I ask you a chalk, is it a name? Is it a word? Is it a term? You can say it's a name because it can be used as subject or predicate. But only in a proposition it becomes a term. In the actual proposition, it becomes a term. Thus, all words need not be names, but all names are words. So also, I did not come to that one. A term is a name which actually serves as subject or predicate of a proposition. For example, this man is intelligent. Here, this man, that is a term because it is actually used in the proposition. Is intelligent is also a term because it is actually used as predicate. So here this man and intelligent are terms in this given proposition. In the actual use of a name as subject or predicate, it is referred to as a term. Names become terms when they are used in a proposition. Outside the proposition, a term is only a name. Now, just something in one sentence I am putting here. Names may have different meanings, but a term can have only one meaning. And the reason is given immediately. Since in a proposition, the meaning is narrowed down only to one. Take for instance, the term coach. The term coach, it becomes a term only when it is used in a proposition. For example, we are employed so and so as the coach for volleyball. There the meaning of coach is what? The meaning of coach is someone who gives training. But if I simply ask coach, it is only a name. Coach can mean also a railway bogie. Therefore, you do not know what is the meaning. Coach can have more than one meaning. But, a word can have more than one meaning. But a term can have only one meaning because the meaning is narrowed down to one meaning. I have traveled in the S1 coach. There, I am narrowing down the meaning of coach to a railway bogie. But if you simply ask coach, It can mean a trainer or a railway bogie. That is the reason why I have put it here. Names may have different meanings, but a term can have only one meaning.